You living your truth, whatever that might be. Are you living your truth?
I gotta go to the bathroom. Be right back.
Duh. Now that is like not the segue we needed. But are you really living your truth? And when people ask you that question, like live your truth, what does that really mean for you? What does that mean? Are you living your truth? Does it make you think about, are you living authentically, honestly, in integrity, living your values, or even walking your own talk? You know, they say talk the talk and walk the walk. Are you walking your talk? The easy answer is that your truth is really rooted in your own belief system. What do you believe about your truth? It's the things that you say and feel to yourself when you are alone behind closed doors. Those things is the things. You know, when you're outside of the public mask, the mask that we have to show the world. You know, what is it that you say behind all of that? Are you living your true self? You know, things that we are dealing with on a day-to-day, you know, those things complicate, you know, who we can show ourselves to really be. You know, that is where you find the gap between our truth as we know it and the person that we show to the world. And how wide that gap may be depends on the level of self-awareness and the layers of filters and fictional stories. You know, the stories that we tell about who we are and the ones that we've built up over the years. Stephanie Thomas said, I wonder what we could create or achieve or be if we can only let go of those pesky stories we've been telling ourselves. And so sometimes these false stories, can't hear me? Hold on, let me turn up something. Okay, let's see. Okay, my speaker's on.
No, we can hear you.
Okay, you can hear me? Okay, all right. So, false stories that we tell ourselves can truly bury our truth. It's our human nature to want to be liked, respected. But sometimes in our efforts to be accepted, we often put such pressure on ourselves to fit in. At the very least, to stand out in a way that doesn't make us feel exposed or foolish. So as a result of that, we end up masking or manipulating our most vulnerable feelings, our opinions, our desires in the effort to avoid judgment or discomfort or even rejection, right? So the challenge is that we are rarely even consciously aware of our efforts to protect or disguise parts of ourselves. It may take some time just for you to really learn who the real you is. Who are you? Who are you? And the truth is that sometimes we harbor even fear that we may not like what we find out all that much. The who am I? So the big question.
Hold on. I gotta stop because I know some of I got it.
Oh, you are hilarious.
You really got me all twisted right now, Darlene. I had to stop you.
Okay.
First of all, You said, and your first question, because you said it in the beginning. You said there's questions you're faced with that you had to answer.
Yes.
That question was,
are you living your truth?
When you say your,
Yes.
that automatically defines
My truth.
oh,
My truth, your truth, our truth. You know, sometimes we find ourselves living in situations that we really don't want to be in. And everything in your whole being is telling you that this is not for you. Whether it's your job, your relationship, whatever it is, you're just not living where you want to be. You're not doing what you want to be doing. And you feel it in everything, but we ignore it. We ignore it because the status quo says, excuse me, that you're supposed to do it that way. Hold up. That's what the status quo says. Status quo said, I'm supposed to be with who I'm being with. I'm supposed to do the work that I'm doing. I'm supposed to show up as this most amazing mom, sister, friend, girlfriend, whatever. And sometimes you feel that some of those relationships or situations or jobs or whatever it is that you're doing is not making you feel good. And if you're not feeling good about it, then just maybe you are not living your truth. And because we want to be liked and respected, we leave these narratives going. We leave these things, happening. Because we want to be accepted, and we don't want people to look at us in a way that would not be good in other people's eyes, instead of living according to your own truth. So you mask everything, and then you manipulate your own feelings and opinions and desires to avoid discomfort or rejection, staying within that comfort zone, staying right where everything feels all right at. Don't feel good, but it feels all right. So it's all right. So I'm going to just stay right here because it's all right. So unconsciously, we're not even aware of some of the things that we're doing to hide who we really are, who we really want to be. And it's definitely going to take some work to find out what you really want. Have you even asked yourself that? We don't even ask ourselves that. We kind of just go with it. Oh, I've been married for 30 years. I'm going to just go with it. Even though I'm not happy, I'm just go with it. I'm just go with it. I'm already here. What I'm going to do different? I'm already here. I'm just go with it. And you're so unhappy. You're so unhappy. Or you've been at your job, I've been there 10 years. 5 years even. It's what I know. It's not my gifting, but I'm here. I got good benefits. I'm going to just stay. And you hate it. You absolutely hate it. But yet you continue to do these things that you hate, and you wonder why it shows up and manifests as a disease in the body, because you are at dis-ease. And so then it shows up in headaches, stress, tension. Because why? You hate something that you're doing, and your body is trying to tell you, but you're not listening because you done masked it all up and said, it's just a headache from whatever. Don't have nothing to do with what I'm doing, that I hate what I'm doing. But what we know is that dis-ease is caused by emotion. And so if you're somewhere where you don't like it, whatever aspect of your life that it is, it's going to show up. It's going to show up. So it's you know, so important to realize where you are. You know, if you're relatively comfortable now, you know, the question is it really worth it to put yourself through any form of self-discovery to determine if this is really where you want to be, if this is really how you want to spend the rest of your life? And we don't know how long the rest of our life is. But however long the rest of your life is, do you want to spend it doing something that you don't want to do? Doing things that you hate, being around people that you don't want to be around? And I learned even something about myself in this self-discovery. You know, there's certain people that they tolerate you, but they really don't like you. They invite you around just so they can watch you, but again, they really don't like you. And it reminds me of when Jesus was invited to the dinner at the Pharisees' house. And the Pharisee didn't really believe in Jesus. He didn't really, want, Jesus there, but he invited him there. He's like, just because they invited you, they're really not happy that you came. They invited you because they should, but then you showed up and they're like, oh, she here. And so they invited Jesus to antagonize Jesus, to watch Jesus, and as Jesus was sitting at the table, he was looking at the man, and I just heard the story in the last couple of days. He was looking at a man that was sick at the table, and he was trying to do the work that he does. He's concerned about the man, but the Pharisees are concerned about Jesus and what Jesus was doing. And so people like that exist in our lives. They invite you so they could see you, so they could see what you're doing and all this kind of stuff, but they really don't care about you. And so I found that there's some people like that in my life. And I decided that I was no longer going to submit myself to them. Because you know who they are. The energy is there. How you feel when you're around them is telling you everything you need to know about that person and whatever they've invited you to. So I've decided that I'm no longer going to submit myself to people and relationships like that. I am going to live my full truth. So that means if I get the inkling that somebody really doesn't care for me, I'm just not going to be in their company. Simple. Not going to do it. Living your truth will absolutely free you. It will absolutely free you. Sometimes, the people that I'm thinking of, sometimes I go when they invite me just so I can show them that I'm good, that I'm really good. But, my truth says, why do I feel like I need to even do that? Who cares? So I'm not going to do it. I'm going to live my truth and free myself of all of that garbage. Living truth isn't really about changing or fixing you. It's about freeing you to be confident, powerful, the person that you are meant to be. Honoring that truth through actions and communications with other people as well as yourself. And when living your truth, you're better able to handle any adversity that comes up. Because life is all about change. The only thing that's constant is change, right? And occasionally we're going to have obstacles that come up. And so we're going to need to manage unexpected detours. Sometimes things just happen. Car accident, house, something happens to the house, something happens to someone. Things. Always. And so by having a strong sense of self, of who you are, it enhances your own resilience. It provides you with an anchor and enables you to face challenges with a more balanced outlook. You know, confidence that regardless of what happens to you or for you, you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. You're going to get through it. You have evidence already in your toolbox that you're going to get through it. Some of the worst things that has happened to so many of us, we didn't think at the time that we were going to get through it. But guess what? You did. You did. You got through it. You know, and when you are living in truth, you don't need anybody else to validate your worth or who you are. You know, some people are looking for validation outside of themselves. And you don't need it. You don't need it at all. That means that when you are living your truth, that means that your relationships with other people are based on a mutual respect rather than a disempowering need for validation. Because you don't need it. You don't need anyone else's validation. You don't need anybody else to tell you that you're good. You don't need anybody else to tell you that you're the best who's ever done what you're doing. You already know that. And you don't need anybody to tell you. Because you already know. You just be like, I'm so good at this. And if somebody doesn't agree, that's their opinion. You know? You know, support is always, a good thing. But when you have your own confidence to accept what's right for you, it releases you from the need of approval for other people. I can think of how many times I said, I can't do that. Well, what they gonna think? Well, what they gonna say? And then with this self-discovery work, you find out like it doesn't matter what they think. It doesn't matter what they say. It only matters what you think and what you say. You're responsible for you. So it doesn't matter what happens outside of you. You will, as you live in your truth, you'll have more confidence to speak your truth. I'm living proof of that. Because no matter how hard you're going to try, or you may try, you're never going to satisfy everybody. Even people pleasers can't please everybody. And the people who think that they can satisfy everybody and please everybody, it's delusional. It's delusional to think that you can please everybody. But being authentic in the way you can communicate your feelings and opinions is a core attribute of living your truth. It's certain people in your life, right? You can't tell them how you think. You can't tell them how you feel because you're worried about what the consequences might be if you say something. You want to be able to say something. How you feel is important. And you want to be respected for how you feel and how you think. And if you're around people that don't have that respect for you, you may not be living your truth. But when you are living in truth, you no longer feel guilty about something as simple as taking care of yourself. Men are not really immune to the effects of responsibility overload. But when it comes to women, no question, we are more vulnerable to the pangs of guilt when it comes to taking care of ourselves. Society continues to drive that home on a regular basis. How many times you look on a TV commercial and you see some woman in the closet trying to eat a cookie or trying to eat some ice cream away from her kids in the bathroom, and the kids got their hands under the door. Mommy, all that. When you live your truth, you don't feel guilty about taking care of yourself. Go ahead and take the bath, take the long shower, take a walk, all of these things. And saying to your husband or your partner, you turn them out. You turn them out. Or calling your respite person, saying, "Listen, girl, I need like 2 hours. Can you grab my kids for 2 hours?" And take that 2 hours and have a walk, do your nails, soak your feet, all that kind of stuff. Consider how often on any given day you see those references in media to indulging or splurging or treating yourself for a basic need like eating food or just taking time to relax. All of that is part of it. You have to do those things. When you're anchored in your own truth, you live a more even life. You'll have a compass for what decisions you're making, establishing a healthy self-care and personal boundaries. So you're not easily derailed or influenced by external messages that encourage you to minimize your attention on your own well-being. Because even those of you who are in relationships, you're individuals too. You're the individual alone and you're the individual together. You are an individual before that person. You'll be an individual after that person. So sometimes we have to remember that we are individuals too, even though we're together. And there's things that we do together, but there has to be things that you do apart for yourselves. Right? So how do you uncover your truth? There's no magic pill or solution to work through the process of uncovering your truth, especially in a world that's filled with commitments, never-ending distractions, constant barrage of messages about who and what you should be. But if you take some time to focus, because that's what the work takes. The work takes focus and is best done in peaceful environments for a dedicated period of time. And one of the best ways to do this is conduct a personal inventory. You ready for the test? Here's the test. Got your pencils and your paper? You got to answer some questions to begin the process. The first question is, what do you stand for? What are your core values? What are your core values? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What limiting beliefs do you have about yourself? Do you have do you have personal standards? Do you have boundaries? Do you honor your limitations? What makes you happy? And how can you get more of it? How can you get more happiness? And lastly, what does your heart secretly long for? What does your heart secretly long for? Jacoby Nordby said, "Live your truth right out in the open. No hiding or apologizing for who you are. What do you have to lose, really? The good opinion of others? Believe me, if they're looking at you at all when you're busy living your truth, is probably with a mixture of curiosity and admiration of the boldness they can't muster. So to identify and understand and define your personal truth is one of the most important things you'll ever do in this life. How are you living your truth now? How are you living it now? Are you living it now? So many people are not. It takes such courage to be the person you really are. There's no magic to make that happen. Everything that goes on in the world around us takes us away from being who you truly are. It leads you to live a life that you think others want you to have, and takes you away from your authenticity and your truth. You ignore all your desires, stuff down what you really want to do, or the person you really want to be. Thinking that you can't have that dream job, thinking that you can't live in your dream house or do the dream work, be in the dream relationship. We stopped dreaming like when we were little. Like we really stopped thinking about what you really wanted. I remember growing up and you say, when I grow up, I'm a be that. Butcher, baker, candlestick maker, I'm a be that. And then life happens and sends you in another way. Maybe you had a baby, or maybe you had to go to work to help your parents or something, and your dream got pushed to the side. But they say dreams, even though they may not come right away, they may be delayed or deferred, but they're still there if you want them. It's never too late to live the life of your dreams if you choose. Some people, think that you can fulfill your obligations first, then pursue your dreams. That's really an illusion. To fulfill obligations first and then pursue your dreams. Why can't you do this and that? Why do you have to do this or that? That's our motto, right, Mr. Satchel? We can have this and that. You don't have to choose.
You know it.
We can have this and that. You can pursue your dreams and fulfill your obligations at the same time. Sometimes it seems the best way is to fulfill your obligations first, but it diminishes your value and your power over the long run. It's never too late to start embracing what it means to be your true self. And when you're living your true self, there's some things that happens to you. First of all, you feel balanced. Life is going to throw you lemons. There's always going to be disappointments, pain, death, and broken hearts. Knowing that you're anchored and have a foundation, regardless of what happens, is a sign of truth and a sign of balance. So you're living balanced when you're living your truth. When you're living your truth, you are not looking to be completed, because you complete yourself. No one has to do that for you. When you're being your true self, you are a whole and complete human being. There's no need to search for someone else to do it for you. The more you look to be completed, the more weakened the sense of completeness you'll have within yourself. And outside validation isn't your only source of validation. Being true to yourself means your main source of validation is from within. Sure, outside validation, it feels good. It feels good, outside validation. But it should not be your only source of validation. The more of it is coming from you, or the more your sense of validation is coming from outside of yourself, the more you lower your sense of self. So your validation should come from within yourself. You don't need validation from anybody. And the moment that we realize that, whoo, baby, the better it's going to be. When you're living your true self, you're not dependent on other people to feel good about yourself. You already feel good about yourself. You're already excited about what you're working on. You don't need nobody to say, good job, girl, that's good. And you be like, okay, yeah, that's good. No, you don't need that. You already know. You already know that what you're doing is good. Living your truth means your relationships with others are about respect. They bring out the light and love within you. It means you aren't dependent on those relationships to feel good about yourself because you already feel good. You already feel good. I already feel good. Y'all feel good? I feel good. I feel good knowing that I am living the life that I'm supposed to. When I was working the jobs that I wasn't supposed to be at, when I was around people that really didn't have my best interest at heart, it didn't feel good. But now, I feel good. I feel good. And when you're living your truth, you don't feel guilty about speaking your truth. The reality is you're not going to appease everybody. You're not. And it's an illusion to think that you are, even if you're trying to be a people pleaser. Being honest and truthful about communicating with others is where there is the lasting fulfillment and you embrace what you're living, your truth really means. When you can say what you need to say, oh my goodness. You know, sometimes it's people that you be like, dang, I wish I had said that. I should have said that. When she said that, I should have said that. Or when he said that, I should have said that. Not living your truth. Say it. Say it. They can handle it. They grown. Just like you can handle it, what is said to you, they can handle it too. Say it. Say it. And don't feel guilty about speaking it. Speak it. You know, and when you are living in your truth, you don't take everything personally. It can be easy to take some things that people say personally, you know, like, Tommy, you don't got no job. Where do you work? All that kind of stuff. What is it that you do exactly? I don't take none of that personal. People, no. So, I don't take it personal. You know, but when you do take it personal, it can get you in a negative headspace where you start to overcompensate and ultimately aren't being true to yourself because of something that somebody said. By being true to yourself, you trust in your actions and your own choices. You realize that what others do has to do with them, not you. You ever notice when somebody be just coming at you about something, and when you think about what they're saying, they really talking about themselves? And I don't know, somebody said everything you say right back at you. Like, really, you talking about yourself. You're not talking about me. You're talking about you. So it has everything to do with them. So when you are living your true self, you believe more. You're more than your job, your relationship, your weight, your financial status. You're more than all that. Your value is innately within you. When you're being your true self, the external things that's going on around you do not define you. You realize that you are more than what you have. And you believe you are whole without anybody having to tell you anything other than that. I can't even imagine if in my homelessness, my carlessness, my joblessness, that I believe my value was tied up in that. If I believe my value was tied up in what I had, that is not, no. I believe my value is in me. My value is in how I show up in the world authentically to share my giftings. And, you know, I have learned so much over this past, not even a full year yet. 2020 truly has brought 2020 vision to a lot of us. And in this 2020 vision, I am learning about giftings and the giftings that God gives us. And how when we live in our giftings, once you have identified what they are, once you have learned what they are and start to live in them, all your needs will be met. And your wants too. And your wants too. You know, we you know, are often defined by the jobs that we hold. Oh, she's a mom. Oh, she's a sister. Oh, she's a wife. She's a nurse. Titles of who you should be.
Can I ask you a question, Darlene?
Yes, you can.
Have you ever felt this when you said something and someone has ever said never say never?
Oh, yeah. Somebody just said that to me yesterday. Never say never. Never say never. Never say never.
Your truth, that's what you truly, you said it with so much passion. It caused them to say, no, you should never say never.
Yes.
Anybody ever said it here before? Hold on. Anybody in this room ever said that? If you said it, give me a 1. Just give me a 1, and you'll recognize like Darlene is so on this thing today. This thing getting me right now. I'm gonna tell you, we've all said it.
Yep.
Don't ever say never.
Yes.
But when someone honestly believes what they believe, I'm telling you, I ain't never going back to that goddamn going job.
Me neither.
You hear me? That's a truth.
That is the truth. Never say, they say never say never. And they say, and you know, I hear them when they say that, but I still say, I'm never going to do work that I don't love anymore. And that is my truth, and I believe it, and I'm never going to do anything I don't want to do. And there's even times where people have asked me to do things that I said I was never going to do. Like I said, I was never going to clean houses anymore unless it was my house, right? And this lady I used to work for, she reached out to me 2 weeks ago. And she said, oh, Darlene, I really need your help. You know, this. And you know I'm a helper. So she's like, I'm short a person. And, you know, if you could just do this house for me, I'll make sure I pay you extra and all this kind of stuff. And I said, you know what? Okay, I'll do it for you. As the day got closer, I said never. And okay. And so, you know, sometimes God will protect us from ourselves. And just so happened that day, I had to go take Dr. Loretta somewhere too. So I said, oh my goodness, guess what? I'm not going to be able to do it. I got to take Dr. Loretta somewhere. So I didn't do it. So I said never, and it's never happened since I said never. Even though I was willing to compromise to help, but I said never.
And that's her truth. That was your truth.
Yes.
Now she may not agree with it, but at the end of the day, that is Darlena's truth.
Absolutely.
And this is when the Bible says it clearly, which allows all of us off here, do not conform to the way of the world. Be transformed, and she's transforming herself to live the freaking life she desires to live.
Absolutely.
Amen. Go ahead, Crystal. God dang, I
hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh, I could barely hear you.
We hear you good.
Okay, good. So, I'm walking through all of what you're talking about, Darlene, like right now.
Yes.
So, we talked about, the ego, we talk about flesh, we talk about all of that. And so just me personally, in my personal life, I worked really, really hard and accomplished a lot of things. And they were all from an external place.
Yeah.
And it was because of the life experiences that, or the things that I heard people say, oh, you a teenage mom, you ain't gonna have shit, you're gonna be you're gonna be on welfare. And so that kind of, it's just like, nah, I got to prove them wrong.
Yeah.
That I am not what they say that I am. So I went out and I bust my behind and I accomplished a lot of stuff, right? But the stuff that I accomplished did not bring me any emotional fulfillment because they were all external things. They were driven by ego. You know what I'm saying? Because of the story I told myself, I'm going to show you that I'm not who you say that I am, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, on this journey, the spirit will start requiring more of you. So I'm sure all of y'all probably, and maybe not all of y'all, but most of y'all probably have seen my post. And I said, the question was asked to me, are you willing to forsake your all? Are you willing to forsake the husband that everybody say, oh, you look so good with, y'all a power couple, you this, that, and the other. You willing to forsake that? Because did you connect with him on a subconscious level? Because you were scared to tell him no, or because you still were scared to be alone, or that you were scared to, for whatever reason. But how will you ever know, Crystal, your truth if you don't basically shoot it all down and then choose again, not based on you trying to prove something to somebody or your head knowledge, but based on what you feel? Because then it is real, then it is authentic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I said, you know what, God, yep, I'm willing to forsake it all. I bust my butt, $300,000 house, but you know what? It's empty. Because why? I possessed it externally. It didn't bring me no emotional fulfillment. So you know what? I'm going to walk away from it. I'm going to walk away from all of these stories that I created and the things that I possess, because those things no longer define me. Like you said, Darlene, my emotional fulfillment comes from within. It's not stuff.
Yes.
And so a lot of people looking at me and saying, you crazy as hell. You walked away from the house. You damn right. It's a house. You know what? I can build it again. I can do it again, and I can do it bigger and better. And so I am not these material things. I'm so much more than that. And if I hold on to the stuff because I want to look a particular type of way to people, that I'm going to live a very limited life. So I tossed it all up. Okay, was I scared? Hell yeah, I was scared. Did it hurt? Yeah, it hurt. Why? Because I'm still in this fleshly body. Even though my spirit was calling more of me, my flesh was being crucified. My ego, I was killing it myself. Yeah. Why? Because my ego want to hold on to the stuff, because the ego want to look a particular type of way. The ego want to present this front. But me, personally, my own personal, I don't want to present a front. I want you to, and when you encounter me, I want you to encounter the real. And it's not based on what you see externally. It's based on what you feel when you encounter my presence. And so, I can have the beautiful stuff. But is my inside beautiful? Just like you said, your external world reflects your internal world, right?
Yes.
So a lot of people will look at you and what you have and say, oh, she's this, oh, she's that. But that doesn't necessarily mean. We get tricked a lot of times because we look at what the stuff that people have. But can you feel that person? Can you connect with that person? You know what I'm saying? Are they more than just the stuff? And so, when I jumped on and heard you talking about being your true self, being authentic, and being, how that true self and what it is, and I can honestly say that I am happier now with I really found the strength in me I didn't even know I had.
Yes.
Loaded up in a truck. I drove a 26-footer from Arkansas. This ain't never drove no truck before. But you know what? I drove the hell out that 26-footer. Do you hear me? And so I'm saying all that to say, like, how would you ever know what you can and can't do if you ain't willing to toss it all up to really see? And so, I'm on that path. It's my journey. I'm enjoying it. I am becoming. I have forsaken all.
Yes.
And I am following my truth, and as a result of it, yeah, it's a newfound love. I ain't never loved me like this before.
Yeah.
And when I say it's beautiful, ooh,
It is beautiful. It is beautiful. I'm so proud. I'm so proud of you. You know, you have taken steps that many would never take. They would stay in situations that don't serve them. And I've been there and have done that. You know, I got in a 40-foot truck with my car connected to the back of it and drove until I reached Atlanta. So, I mean, it is a freeing. And the whole time that you're driving, you know, God is talking to you the whole time and telling you that you've made the right decision, reminding you that you belong to God, that you don't belong to anybody, and that, you know, the things that we do, you know, that God is proud of us, you know, even though somebody might not agree or somebody may feel a way, you know, that God got you. And the life that comes after that, the freeness, you know, they call me Gypsy Rose. You already know. I can't even begin to tell you the freedom that my soul felt.
Yes.
And I see it on you. You know, when we release ourselves from the needs of others and just take care of ourselves. We have to do that. We have to do that. We have to take care of ourselves, because guess what? People always think the strong ones, you know, because you're one of the strong ones. I'm one of the strong ones too. They think the strong ones, oh, she all right.
Yep.
And while in the inside, you're breaking apart. You're breaking apart while people think you got it all together. And when you up and do something drastic, then they think you crazy. But you have been living in angst for so long. So by the time you bust out, they like, oh, she done lost her mind. So listen,
they try to put me in the psychiatrist hospital. You need therapy. You need to go to you need to see somebody. You need some help. You know, something that's wrong with you. But even Marco said it. He said, Crystal, I have to tell you, you got bigger balls than I ever had.
Yeah.
He said, because I would not have had the courage to do what it is that you have done. So, you know, it's just like, you know, in hindsight, it's like, I applaud you for having the courage, because you're showing me something. And at the end of the day, Darlene, what I am learning more and more is that, you know, when the Spirit is calling for you to do something, basically to go against the grain.
Yes. You
know what I'm saying? Because if I'm doing what everybody else is doing, then that is the wide road. Narrow is the path, and it be few that find it. So if you're doing what everybody else is doing, then you're living a limited life. You know, just like with this corona, everybody walking around with masks on. I put a mask on if I'm led to. I'm not going to do what everybody else is doing. Because if I'm following the crowd, then now I'm going to go this way. You know what I'm saying? I didn't develop the immunity to it. Why? Because I didn't clean up the viruses, the mental mess that was going. I cleaned that up in me, because that's what causes our whole system to shut down. Is that our computer, our mind is full of virus, full of infection. You know, full of wrong thoughts. And so, because I'm cleaning up my mind, like, no, because you didn't develop the immunity to any type of damn virus that they want to put a name on. It can't touch me. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And so, you know, he's like, you got bigger balls than anybody I know. That I don't know nobody that would have did what you did. And that's the whole point of this life that God has blessed us with. My life is now a gift to everybody that's connected to me. Why? Because I opened up to the truth. So for those of us that say, oh, I didn't know another way. No, baby, because my life, and I was in your life, God put me in your life as a gift to serve and to show you and to demonstrate that signs and wonders will follow those that believe. So now people looking at me like, how? How in the world did she do X, Y, Z? And even once I got to Texas, my neighbors, I was wore out, tired. I didn't have to unload my truck. When I tell you, baby, God has been providing at every turn. And it's because I am not looking for anybody to do it. I'm just being who It's just
Oh my
like
God. I have
furniture
to.
fit in there just perfect. It's just beautiful.
I'm gonna have to call
walk
you.
the
Oh
thing
my
out
God.
and see it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to call you because your life is you're describing my life when I landed in my apartment in Atlanta, because people ask me the same thing. How long you been here? Everything's together. Listen, when I got there, I didn't even have furniture yet, and I ended up buying a full house of furniture for $300. Somebody was leaving, was like, listen, I can't take none of this. Can you just give me enough money for me to take my flight? And that's what happened. And not even bad furniture, good furniture, Bassett and Roy Hill and beautiful stuff. And I just know that God will provide everything you need once you have made the decision to walk, to walk. He just asks you to walk. And sometimes it's like that stair step, walking up the stairs, but you can't see the top, or going on that winding road, but you can't see the end. But you have committed to taking the steps, and God will provide along the way every single time. I'm living proof of that. I still don't know the end of the story, but all I know is I have surrendered to living in what is truth for me.
And I can honestly say, Darlene, this right here, yesterday, I was walking through the house and I was just like, the step that I made now requires me to make conscious decisions. You know what? Because I was like, it's just like I couldn't get grounded. Like yesterday, I had to go sit out in the grass because it's just like I could not get grounded. It was just like I was just, and I was just like, my subconscious mind saying, "What the hell did you do? I can't find a file to connect with. I don't know what because it was just like it's just like
Yes.
My subconscious mind is like, I don't know what to do next. And so I said, being in this new place now forces you to consciously make every decision, because the subconscious programming has been wiped clean.
Yes.
There is no file of this right here.
None.
Now you get to create the type of life that you want. It is not going to be based on who your mama was, who your daddy was, because why? You didn't jump. Not knowing if the parachute was going to open or not, so your brain like, what the hell? I mean, who?
Yes,
exactly.
Exactly.
And so I was just sitting there and I was like, I got to consciously choose now. Everything.
Yes. So, and next time you want to, when you're ready to ground, you can lay flat on the ground with your belly to the earth in the grass, and that connects you mother to mother, mother earth to mother. And it will help you to ground better when you have trouble grounding. So try that next time. But I'm proud of you. I'm so grateful for your example, because you are showing so many of us, you could do it. Because you give other people permission to do the same thing. So thank you. We love you. We love you. Back to you, Mr. Satchel.
I'll be dang.
Living truth.
Wow.
Living truth. People are living their truths. Living our truths.
Why is this thing acting like?
We can hear you. It's just kind of low, but we can hear you.
I don't know why. I'm going to hit it, throw it out the window. But anyway. Get me a new one.
Of course. Go right ahead. Amazon, I have it there tomorrow.
Oh, no. What? Keep it up. So anyway, this was such a good, like you hit home today, sister. Like, can I say that? And at the end of the day, we appreciate Darlene, we appreciate Crystal, we appreciate Sabrina, everybody in here. When you look at the stories that we have actually shared, to Derek, helping each other, Sherry yesterday, the stories, guys, that we have to be able to help that next person.
Yep.
Because I was sitting here just now talking to Liv. Ain't nobody gonna wear no sign and tell you what they going through.
Nope.
Hello, did you hear me? Ain't nobody walking. You know that Statue of Liberty lady that walk around that thing? She noticed, you know, you can do your taxes. She walk around with the green cape and all of that. You know that lady? Y'all know who she is.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody walking around this store like, I got this problem, something wrong. Like, I just don't live. I'm not going to sit here and share with her what my problem was when I met her. We don't talk about these things.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, when we have classes like this that can really allow us to share without judgment, without who did this. When I can sit here and say, personal development is for me, it's for me. Mm-hmm. Did you hear me? Mm-hmm. Just like I wrote a letter today. I wrote a little thing to send out today, and I gave it to Lynn. This is the being, I'm being very transparent. I gave it to her, and she looked at it, and she said, hey, you got this, like, you know, all kinds of mistakes, y'all. Y'all know.
That's why you got her. That's why you got her. She compliments you.
I'm just saying, I was so thankful for it, right? But people be like, Kim, will you please let me see it first? And then, you know, it'll go out. She did it. She took that thing and she made it right. So to have us around, I know I ain't the smartest knife in the drawer. I know, or the sharpest knife in the drawer. I ain't the smart. You see, I messed that one up already. But I know I ain't that person. I know my thinking is just like drinking sometimes. But at the end of the day, I am who I am.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, we just got to make it happen, no matter what you said, what she said. So you're right about that, ladies and gentlemen. We can't live this fake out front life because I don't even want to hang out with you no more. Nope. Be real. And that's just the way the said, you know what? I noticed it, and she don't have to change. She don't have to go tell nobody nothing. She can just do what she got to do. Yep. These are the things you being very intentional about your life.
Yes.
Okay. Love you guys.
We love you. Thank you so much for always being in support. And, you know, we are so God-led and God-driven in Life-Changing Alliances. And, you know, the subject matter that comes up for us is always so timely. And, you know, just like you said, somebody needed to hear it. Somebody needed to process something. You know, I don't believe that anything is by coincidence anymore. I used to, but not anymore. I believe that everything is a message for ourselves and for those who are listening. For sure.
With that being said, have a great day on purpose. Take over your life. Because if you don't, them heathens out there with you. Absolutely. You ain't going to, you might have to smack somebody today. Don't do that. God bless you. Take care.
Facebook family, thank you so much for being here along with my Life Changing Alliances family. I hope that you have gotten something out of this. Are you living your truth? And if not, why not? And what are you going to do about it now? So, enjoy this amazing Wednesday. You are perfect. Thank you so much again for watching. Bye for now.